Before we do you want to drop into the casting channel?
Oh, I just clicked. So, for those curious, that other voice you just heard is Cyclone Jack. He is casting with me this evening.
How's it going, everybody? Hope you're having a great night.
As you can see, I'm coordinated as ever. But yeah, so this is Aces Wild ISC Season 2. We're currently midway through the season. This is going to be a Week 3 drop between Cameron Highlanders Claymore Division and Aces Wild Waffle House. And as I noted, I'm Kerwan. Beside me, Cyclone Jack of Dropship 4. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Cyclone Jack. I've been a competitive MechWarrior player for the better part of 4 or 5 years, and this is my first season I've been able to shoutcast, and it's been a pleasure. This is my second match I'm ever shoutcasting. I've been involved in MechWarrior since the game pretty much came out. Back in, since MechWarrior 2 came back out, back in the late 90s.
So you started with MechWarrior 2, you didn't play the horrible DOS game?
No, I didn't play the horrible DOS game. My cousin got me into it. He sat me down and said, "Hey, look at this. It's been giant snobby robots. Let's have some fun." And I went from there. I just never stopped.
Nice. So now so back when that first came out, my introduction to it was a friend of mine got a demo of it in a magazine, if I remember correctly. And we all oohed and awed. Was that how your brother got access to it also, or?
No, he actually went out and picked up a retail copy of MechWarrior 2 and the expansion Clan Ghost Bear. And we sat down and installed it, and we spent an entire weekend ordering pizza and drinking Mountain Dew, sitting around the computer taking turns playing missions.
Nice. I miss those days.
Yeah, right? And now here we are today in 2019 with a free-to-play game online, watching, a set of competitive teams going at it for bragging rights and some pretty cool prizes.
Yeah, so it's not that far removed from how it used to be when we were kids. I don't have Mountain Dew in front of me today, but I do have plenty of soda. There's popcorn waiting upstairs. So, should be a good time.
Absolutely. So, Kerlin, what can you tell me about these two teams? I mean, I know a little bit about Cameron's Islanders. They got 2 teams they're fielding. A few notable names. Some participation in a few tournaments so far, but I don't know a ton about Aces Wild.
So, Aces Wild has been around for quite a while. My first introduction with them was actually faction play when I re-picked up MechWarrior online, 3 or 4 years ago now. They were one of the first groups that I lucked into solo dropping that had some coordination and dragged me over to their TeamSpeak, got rolling with them, had a good time. This season in ISC, they've got, I think, 5 squads running around. Most of the names in Waffle House I do not recognize off the top of my head.
Okay. So we possibly got some up-and-comers with some new talent. It's always awesome to see. New players trying their hand in the competitive scene. Try to grow the sport a little bit, as it were.
Yeah, now that said, looking at their initial seeding, they seeded 18th based on Jarl's List rankings. So, as a squad, they may be fresh, but the players do have some experience under their belt, at least in regular matches. Comparatively, Cameron's Highlanders Claymore is seeded 9th based on Jarl's List, so a little bit of discrepancy between the two seedings, but as has been demonstrated already in this league, Jarl's List rankings doesn't really directly translate to comp performance. There's a lot more going on than just the ability to shoot a mech.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You got to take into consideration guys that play casually when they're not practicing and they just like to mess around and have fun, or they're playing meme builds, or even guys that stream, like myself. If I were playing tryhard mechs and comp geared mechs and top tier stuff all the time, sure, take my Elsa's ranking. But sometimes, that doesn't happen, and that allows for a lot of surprises when it comes to stuff like that. But for right now, it really gives us the only way we can gauge talent and skill on a team. So we use what we got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. If PGI gave us an API and tracking system for units, that'd be awesome, but they haven't. So, as you said, you use what we've got. And that's also one of the interesting features of this particular league is even in the absence of a good external ranking system, this Swiss system is supposed to feel out and rank teams based on their performance as they go, unlike your traditional single or double elimination brackets.
Absolutely.
So it's been interesting to see how the teams are moving up and down as the weeks progress. If teams had the endurance for it, I'd love to see this format go longer than 6 weeks, but that's a tall ask for most teams. So,
were you privy to the first World Championships where every team had to fight every team?
I wasn't playing comp at that point, but I was watching from the sidelines, and that's just brutal.
I will tell you, my team managed to do it, and we played every single match. We didn't forfeit a single one. We pulled every pilot we could out of our unit to play comp, even if they had no desire. We were just like, just play a match, please, just play for some matches. And let me tell you, that attrition was rough, but it was a great experience, especially one sponsored by and put together by PGI. It was kind of nice. It was a little bit of recognition, a little bit of an open door, and I was excited to be a part of it. So yeah, I can totally agree that the Swiss style is going to be a little better. I'm excited to see how the rest of this tournament fleshes out.
Yeah, we've got a decent range of experience levels in the tournament. We've got some new squads. We've got some classics, so it'll be good to see where things eventually shake out. I'm also going to be curious to see if other leagues borrow the results of this tournament for seeding decisions going forward.
That'd be interesting. Very interesting to see. One can hope. One can honestly hope. I don't know what's coming down the road for future tournaments or who's putting what together, but I know we've got Worlds that's probably going to be announced in the next week. So I guess we can kind of tell from there.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that PGI postponed that announcement, although stuff happens, so
yep.
Can't fault them for it. But it'll be nice to get some closure on the question of will there be a World Championship 2019 and what the format's going to be, because the speculation has been all over the map since last year's stock mode. And I was also almost going to call that a fiasco, but really it did bring out some interesting changes in gameplay. Didn't change the results, which I don't think anyone realistically expected the top teams to be any different. But on the flip side, I know a lot of teams that really got burned out because of that particular choice of format. So I'm hoping we get something that the comp community is looking forward to this time.
Absolutely. I think the announcement will be a positive one. I think we'll get something interesting. I think we'll have a little bit of fun this year. So, but as far as this ISC tournament goes, interesting format, Intersphere only. They allowed us to keep the drop deck, or not the drop deck, I'm sorry, the mech lab, so we could customize and throw together builds that we wanted and we needed to play. A nice selection of maps that we could filter in and out, stuff that we could play and not play. No heroes, which was interesting from, MR, when we could have one hero a drop. But definitely an interesting and a fun little tournament. I've really enjoyed it. Been surprised at some mech selections. Of course, you see, the crab rushes from MS and some other teams. The new champion mech has come through and shined a little bit. You see the classic power mechs like the Wolfhound and some others, but it's been pretty cool. I've been kind of happy with what I've seen with it.
Yeah, I agree. I preferred the one hero allowance that Martial Olympiad kind of broke the norm with. That made getting decks put together much easier. Although I get why the no hero rule exists. So, but the 6v6 format, and in particular the limited map rotation, has been nice. It's taken some of the stress off my group in particular for planning, in that once you figure out 2 or 3 viable strategies for a given map, you're not creating things from scratch each week like we were more with Martial Olympiad. So
absolutely,
I'm liking this. It feels like a much lower stress series, which I think is a perfect follow-up to Martial Olympiad, where it's a bit more serious on the teams.
The limited maps, absolutely. 6v6 is something new that I kind of was not necessarily worried or concerned, but something that intrigued me. I never really gave thought to a 6v6 tournament. An 8v8, sure, 2 lances, why not? But 6 was something a little new. I was kind of looking at the planning stages and looking at combats and thinking to myself, 6v6, you lose a mech, possibly 2. And that's when things get really interesting and really painful. That can really swing the tide of a fight real quick. So.
Yeah, and matches can either go really long or really quick as a result of that. As you know, you lose one light mech early, that can snowball very fast. On the flip side, with 6 mechs aside, teams can drag things out with their positioning. So now that said, I did have some experience with 6v6 coming from the prior Battle for Midway series, so I like the format. Again, it goes back to it's every mech is more important, but at the same time, it still feels like a slightly less stressful match versus an 8v8 to me. So in the meantime, it looks like the teams we've already got Cameron Highlanders locked in. So while Aces Wild gets ready to remind those, or to inform those who have not actually seen this series, Inner Sphere Coalition Season 2, as we touched on, is Inner Sphere mechs only. No heroes. It's a 6v6 format played on 5 drops. We're going to do 3 maps across the rotation. Each team gets 2 tries at the first 2 maps. Tonight it's Canyon Network, HPG Manifold, and then the last drop of the evening will be Mining Collective, and they are jumping straight in. This is a 3-cap format.
Which, if you've looked at the 3-cap format and done the math with it, you've got about 10 minutes to fight, even with a full 3-cap. So it could make things really interesting.
Yep. So, for the map we're about to drop on, Kappa, Theta, and Epsilon are your legal cap points. If a team touches a cap point that is not legal, they have to kill all of the opposing mechs before either tickets or time runs out, or they forfeit that match. Alright, so we are on exciting Canyon Network. Just waiting for the players to connect. We'll get this drop underway. And thank you, teams, for being on the ball and ready to rock.
So over here on my side, I've got an Assassin 21. I've got 3 Bushwhacker P2s, a Champion 3N, and a Champion 1NB. What do you have over on your side?
So I am staring down a Urban Mech, Warhammer, Annihilator, Commando, Second Warhammer, and a Javelin. Warhammer 6Rs. Dual Gauss, 4 ER mediums.
Resource point Theta is ours.
Similar build on the second one, so...
Looks like we've got lasers and twin LBXs on the Bushies. We got SRMs on the Assassin, and on the Champions, we've got an interesting build. I've got some with lasers, one with a LBX. It is looking interesting already. They made for that Epsilon push, but they've got the low ground, and Cameron's Islanders looks like they're just punishing for that movement. Those strikes going out look like they hurt. Oof. Huron from Cameron's Highlanders already down to 74%. And for being on the low ground, looks like they're managing to stave off some of the damage pretty well.
On the same token, though, they're not... Well, okay, so they've got a couple shots in on Sir Epic Poner now, but initially they were not returning the damage.
Oof. This Assassin 21 is overextended right into their lines, and he's trying to disrupt their lines, and he's doing a halfway decent job, but he went down a little too quick. Having an Urban Mech, a Javelin, and a Commando triple teaming him just was no good for him. But we've got some serious damage over on Cameron's Islanders now. And,
I see Kieran down to 46%. He's looking for cover. Yeah, the poor Assassin, his team on the low ground could do nothing for him once he turned those mechs around. So, right idea, wrong positioning.
Absolutely, and the problem was with no jump jets and no ability to climb or hill hump, all they could do was drop back into open quarters, and all Cameron's Highlanders had to do was take a little cover and start trading and poking. So the positioning is a little advantageous at this point. It's a little bit rough, a little interesting, but we've got Cameron's Highlanders starting to do just that too, taking cover and starting to trade, dropping strikes, and just punishing them on the down end. Kawaii Chimera is down to 40% already. Huron down to 46, and Sir Epic Poner down to 52. Still an interesting fight. Ooh, and there goes Kirinigami. Again, taking out 2 of those Bushwhackers, pulling up the left side on Cameron's Islanders. Let's see if they can do some work with that position.
I get the feeling that's the position that Aces Wild wanted to get to, but they were a little surprised by how quickly Cameron's got up on that ridge.
Yeah.
Given the way they trucked through Epsilon.
Yeah, and that low ground I think might have been a little bit of a mistake for them. And there goes Orbit Rain and that Javelin, and Sir Epic Poner and that Annihilator. This is not looking good for Cameron's Islanders.
No, now the Aces has gotten where they wanted to be. They're just collapsing that Cameron's line.
That left side push into Epsilon, just here comes the pain. This is no good for them. Oh, Lord Archon goes down, and Exalgo, it's down to White Tiger. And his Urban Mech R60, and now he's down 2. That's the game. 4-5. And, I mean, even with those numbers as close as they kind of looked, that was brutality. Letting those Bushwhackers getting up on their flank the way they did just wasn't doing them any favors.
So, while they deal with cap points at this point, we'll go take a look at the champions. They're an interesting mech to me, given how quickly they become popular in comp. 4 medium, 2 LB10. So
it's all about tankiness, maneuverability, and speed with the champion. It can do it all. It can twist well. It can tank. It's got the right quirks. It's got the right armor. In my opinion, it's mostly XL friendly. So it can throw on some speed. But of course, you probably mostly want to run an LFE on it. But the things are a solid mech. The champions are definitely beastly.
Alright, so folks, normally this is where I'd flip over to the lovely Red Imp stats page to give you the detailed stats for that match, but unfortunately that's not available at the moment, so you're just going to have to go with the numbers we just showed. So first match of the evening goes to Aces Wild. So that was the 18th seeded team beating the 9th seeded team.
Yeah.
And for a bit, it looked like it was not going to go their way with their positioning. But they managed to correct that mistake and get themselves back on decent ground.
I'm a little surprised they literally went down and around through Epsilon and down that back corridor just to get up and into them. I mean, I understand what they were trying to do, but that was a long way to travel. And they managed to save a lot of armor on that long way.
Yeah, so I just pulled up the map strat. Aces Wild pushed down through Epsilon and kept going past it, but got stalled in this valley when they encountered Cameron's Highlanders already up here. Took a beating for that stall, but then eventually were able to make the walk around, use the ramps, got into the side of Cameron's Highlander, and they just rolled up Cameron's line at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But had they stayed in that valley for much longer, this would have been Cameron's drop.
Yep.
So, interesting play. That's not a strategy I've seen so far. I think it's the first time I've seen Team 2 push down low ground through Epsilon.
Yeah, and I mean, like we were saying, that was a really long push for the one team, and seeing the Camerons come up and through from Theta up into Delta 5, trying to pull, a power position up high. We can speculate all we want. We don't know what these teams have practiced. But just looking at the basic movements from Waffle's house, coming up into Echo, or coming up into Charlie 5 and pushing up to Epsilon, maybe taking the mid ground or high ground would have been a little bit more advantageous. Caused a little more of an immediate brawl, a little more abrupt. But playing the way they did, I can't fault them. A win's a win. Whether you do it sloppy or neat or efficiently or haphazardly or however you want to call it. That was interesting. They just kind of folded in from Echo 4, pushed right into Delta 5, starting to pick people apart. And that assassin at the beginning of the match was a bit of a shock trooper. I didn't see how much damage he did, but I think he drew enough attention away that allowed that team that movement, in my opinion. He literally drew half the team off of the rest of his team. So they had to focus him down and burn him down.
Yeah, so I'm now going back and looking at my initial call on that assassin, saying that, that was a bad move because your team wasn't in a position to support you on that. But you're right, looking at how it actually played out, that was the right call. And I think that's where Waffle House, this is the first time we've seen that Aces Wild name show up, but obviously... Oh, and we've got a pause on drop 2, so I'm going to go back to the map strat for the moment. I think that showed between the stall at Epsilon and the resulting response to that shows that someone in that squad has a good head on their shoulders and some experience under stress and was able to quickly read the situation and come up with a good reaction to it rather than just panic when the plan went wrong. So, good on Aces Wild. And that's what separates your top teams from your bottom teams. It's not that, you have the best plan. It's that you can adapt and keep going when the plan goes wrong.
Absolutely. So over here on Cameron's Highlanders, I see an Assassin 23 running 3 Streak 4s, which makes me twitch just ever so slightly, being, the Assassin pilot is my pilot, or is my mecha choice. But I see some Vulcan 5Ts with a classic medium pulse builds. I see an awesome 8Q running 4 medium lasers and 3 heavy PVCs. We've got a Stalker 5S running, 6 large lasers and a rocket launcher 10.
That's unique.
Definitely interesting, I'll tell you what. And we've got the Assassin with Orbit Rain peeking out, trying to get some intel for the team right away, trying to show them what they're doing.
Theta is controlled by the enemy. Theta is controlled by the enemy.
So,
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
And they're just punishing that other Assassin on the champion as they sit here and try to peek over and get lines of sight up on Epsilon. Smoke down over on Ceramic Poner, and that is awesome. What do you got over on your team?
I am staring at 3 champions, 2 assassins, and a roughneck. And this is more typical scrum that I'd expect in a 6v6. Kawhi Chimera is the first one to drop in his champion. Advantage Cameron's Highlanders at the moment. Battle moving to Theta proper. Aces Wild answers by dropping Strapic Poner. Oh, team kill.
Fast with the team kill, taking Ozazian. That's no good. This Vulcan being in this valley is no good for him. He needs to get out of here quick. And he needs to... Nope. That's the ball game for him, I think. He just lost a leg. And he's got... Yep, there you go. Senior taking Exalgo out. And that Vulcan, no good. 2 to 3. We still got an interesting fight. And here comes that Assassin again coming through. With his Assassin 23 buddied. We're looking at Serm 6s on the 23, which is more of a classic build I'm looking at and expecting out of the 23s.
Meanwhile, that Stalker up on the high ground is able to just poke away at those guys down in the valley.
It makes you wonder if you really want that much tonnage in an Overwatch mech and not involved in the brawl. And now that it's 2 to 5, that answers my question. It's not where I'd want my 80 tons. Ooh, White Tiger overheating himself, as did Lord Archon, but Kiran Yagami secured that last kill. Not bad at all.
Quick look at team stats, and both teams actually dropping similar damage numbers. On the Cameron Highlanders side, White Tiger and the Assassin dropping 592.
Kieran and that Stalker doing 580.
So, twice the tonnage, not twice the damage?
Nope.
Looking at the Aces Wild side, your heavy hitter was Sinar in the Roughneck at 532. Followed closely by Fest 21 and his champion at 517.
And that poor Assassin 21 with those streaks, Sazian, pulling out a cool 55 damage. Kind of feel a little sorry for the guy.
So, both teams have won a drop so far, keeping things nice and close. More entertaining for the viewers.
Almost definitely.
switching maps to HPG Manifold. So I'll bring up the map strat. Not a whole lot to discuss on that one. It was pretty much Theta and the low ground D4 Valley.
I believe some people would call that an NSR. Something to that extent. Just two heads coming at each other, just smashing back and forth.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. So meanwhile, as noted, we are going to HPG Manifold, so get that up on the strat. As you can see, valid cap points are going to be Kappa, Theta, Epsilon. We've seen a wide range of strategies tried on this map. We've had basement strategies, wall strats, pure brawls, pretty much anything goes so far based on what the teams have been trying. I've even seen LRMs brought out on this map, so I don't dare make a prediction.
No. I remember seeing White Knight Legion and Mr. Somru with a trebuchet and other mechs just throwing lerms down range like it was going out of style. So I'd love to see what we see here.
And again, teams are right on top of things and immediately getting sorted and into the drop. So it doesn't give us much time to talk them up.
No, not at all. I can understand the draw to get in and get it done and start doing work.
For those viewing, if you've been active in chat, I do have codes to give away. I'm going to do so after this drop. I'm going to ask the teams to take a minor breather. I've got a Mech Bay and 1000 MC, so most of you are probably watching the other two matches going on at the same time, which means odds are good. If you talk, you're winning something. So meanwhile, what have you got over on Team 2 side?
Team 2. Swoop in, I see a Wolfhound. I see a Javelin. A Vindicator, a Cataphract 3D, a Mauler 2P, and a Crab 27B. So it looks like, this looks like Brawl, other than that Mauler. I'm not sure what's on that Mauler. I gotta check him out.
So, on the Aces Wild side, we've got Dragon, Marauder, Flea, Marauder, Flea, Marauder. Apparently those were on sale. Both teams were taking pot shots at each other as they came out of the gate. Cameron Highlanders is going for the top over Theta, not bothering with cap points. Aces has got one unit on the Spire. The Dragon doing Overwatch while the rest goes low ground to punch into Cameron's Highlanders.
Got that Dragon with 3 UAC 2 build, just raining hell from across that Spire. Just doing damage while the rest of Aces gets ready for that push, that setup that they need. But I'm kind of wondering what they're doing with this maneuver. I see Marauders going in every which direction and people going in 5 different ways.
Fess eats a strike hard through the face. Yeah, the Dragon's doing a decent job suppressing, and it doesn't look like Cameron's really has much to answer him.
No, I don't think he's got the range. That looks like too much of a Brawl deck to do anything back. Even that Mauler isn't able to get fire back on him, and that Mauler is looking a little rough at 68% already. Kieran Yagami, the pilot in that Stalker before, and I don't think he can answer with that Mauler build.
Meanwhile, the rest of Aces have switched sides. They're going to try taking the top from the other side of the map. And Cameron's just doing what they can to try and hold the top.
I mean, I'm going to call it the way I see it. All I see is Cameron bleeding armor just like that as the Marauder takes down that Cataphract quick as anything. And here comes that push. Oh, that push. We're just seeing armor ripped apart. There goes Kieran that Mauler. There goes that Cataphract. This is not looking too good. White Tiger's down to 40s already. Got Orbit Rain at 60s. Lord Archon down to 51%. This is just... Oh, this looks painful.
Orphanator and that Dragon just has free reign at this point. Well, Lord Archon may finally be looking to challenge him. But in case of too little, too late.
I think you might be right. I think it could be. Yep, there it goes. That Orphanator just not wanting to go down to the dragon. No one took the arm. That poor Vindicator with Seraphic Poner down there all by himself.
Orphanator's not even... Oh, there he goes. First time I've seen him actually twist. He was that nonplussed by this match.
Oof.
Took a bit for Aces to get organized and finally decide when to make the push, but when they did, that was authoritative.
And Cameron's just let him. Cameron's was too busy and too worried about the dragon. They didn't get eyes to see where the push was coming. They were completely unscathed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm horribly wrong, but it didn't look like they knew what was coming their way.
No, that feels like a case of someone told them you never leave the high ground.
And that dragon with 752 damage, raining down pain on that battlefield. And
I think he was only about 80% at the end of the match. Yeah. He was just left alone.
You're absolutely right. And something for the viewers to take in mind consideration, when you play in a match on quick play, you're fighting, another 12 mechs, 12 targets to farm damage and rip apart components and really do work on. When you're playing against 6, to pull a number like 700 out, that's like getting an 1100 damage game in a 12v12.
Yeah, you cannot leave a mech like that alone. Get them to turn something.
Yep, the sheer DPS off of that mech, and the fact that they had nothing to combat that was really, really painful. There was no lights harassing him, there was nothing. He just completely went unchecked.
So that's going to be... If we can talk these guys into an interview afterwards, I got to ask Cameron about Drop 3.
Yeah.
Why they held the top. Meanwhile, however, as promised, I'm going to give stuff away.
Is this where we get to give away free stuff?
This is where we get to give away free stuff.
I like free stuff. What kind of free stuff are we giving away?
Well, I got a couple things in my goodie bag.
Okay.
I think I'm going to start out with the big prize right out of the gate. I've got 1,000 MC.
Ooh.
So, for those unfamiliar with how I do things, I'm going to add everyone that's been active in chat on MWO Leagues 3. That's a total of 16 of you. We're going to kick out the known bots. Unfortunately, Cyclone, I've got to kick us out as well.
Oh. Can I have the cookies at least?
Oh, I always share my cookies. That's just rude. Not to. So, that leaves a total of 12 of you. I suspect Freddy Bot is a bot, but as I don't know that authoritatively, I'll leave him in there for giggles. We'll see if this turns into a good bot detector. So that's 12 of you fighting for the chance for 1,000 MC. So, Kirin Yagami. Name you might recognize. You most recently saw him in Cameron's Highlanders versus Aces Wild. You've just won 1,000 MC.
Doing some work on that stalker. Maybe treat it to a nice little paint job, some new colors. I dig it. I dig it. Maybe a new Warhorn.
Or, there's fashion shows. Teos loves to see stylish mechs. possibly some bolt-ons.
Mm.
You've got options. So the way this works, Kieran, you need to whisper me on Twitch. Once you do so, I will give you a code for 1000 MC. If you don't whisper me within a day or so, the code goes back in the pool, someone else gets your goodies. We don't like that. Meanwhile, and I know chat's 5 minutes behind what I'm seeing at the moment, but I can already see the rigged hashtags flying. Meanwhile, we're going to jump back in. We've got yet another drop on HPG Manifold to observe.
Now, we saw two drastically different teams fight these first two drops. One way and then another completely. I'm hoping we see the same thing on the second drop in HPG. This is going to be entertaining. This should be fun. I want to see vengeance. I want to see some coolant flowing, some hydraulics bursting. I want to see armor being sheared off, lasers burning. Let's see some vengeance. Let's get that other team back for what just happened. Let's do it. I'm down.
By the numbers, Cameron has the skill to do it. But as noted before, numbers don't always tell the whole story.
Indeed.
So let's see which story they're going to write for us. And once again, Scenic HPG Manifold.
Love me some Manifold, man. One of my favorite maps.
Before Rubelite was released, I probably would have said this was my favorite. I gotta tip it towards Rubelite now, though. That said, HPG is a close second.
So now people usually look at me funny because I'm a world champion 2017 player. Canyon Network's still my favorite map.
I'm warming to Canyon more and more as I play comp.
Okay.
So pub matches tend to demonstrate the worst way to play a map, so that I'm playing with some groups with some coordination, that helps. I'm sorry. What you got?
Fair enough. I totally got that. So over here, I got a Bushwhacker P2, a Wolfhound 2, a Marauder 3R, a Warhammer 6R, another Wolfhound 2, and another Bushwhacker. This looks a little familiar. We got some DACA and some lasers. Those look like the classic P2 builds with the LBXs and the energy. The Marauder 6R looking like some dual LBs. It's more energy. Wolfhounds are typical Mead Pulse builds. I'm digging it. And here comes the brawl right off the bat. They're just pushing into each other on this like little bridge outside of the top of the HPG. The strikes are flying. So what do you got over there on Cameron's side?
We've got a Grasshopper, Bushwhacker, Annihilator, a pair of Assassins, and a Flea. And yeah, both teams are just smashing face on that ramp. Cameron's has backed off a little bit. Aces was able to take the high ground. I think that's the first time I've seen a full team go up that ramp on both sides at the same time. Quick kill already.
Wolfhound 2, he was in the middle of Bushwhacker and Annihilator pain right there. But that Annihilator took some serious damage from that little engagement. I don't know if it was friendly fire or that Wolfhound really just managed to do that much work, but he's down to 67% already.
Now Cameron's has turned around. They've come up the side that Aces used to get up there.
Did we just see a NASCAR movement?
We did. We've done a complete lap.
Ooh,
Oh.
that team kill.
Aces did not need that.
No, not at all. Cameron's Islanders down 2. Oh, never mind. And Waffle House down 4. This is the pain. Here we go. And this is what I'm talking about, the total flip-flop. Little deviation of plan, and that Marauder's backing up too much. That Warhammer is getting destroyed, getting ripped apart. This is some of the carnage I wanted to see. Here we go. That poor Warhammer just doesn't know what to do. He just, and finally goes down. Kieran Yagami and that Annihilator just tearing him up finally. And that Marauder continuing to back up, not wanting to go down. But Sir Epic Poner and Kieran Yagami both at 40 and 60%. While Orange Dry is still at 50-something. Ooh, 40-something. Could he pull off this win? Could he do enough damage?
Oh, he stripped.
Oh, no. No. Poor Orange Dry.
Wow.
Those last 2 mechs were so close to popping.
I think you could almost run into Sir Epic Poner and start blowing components out.
I'm pretty sure
Yep.
if he drops off the wrong ledge, that Poner is going to be having a bad day in that grasshopper.
Well, there's your comeback story.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. That's a solid brawl. It was some solid fighting and a comeback. Comeback to keep things interesting. 2-2 now.
So when we go into the last drop, Cameron's is going to have the momentum of coming off a win. Aces is going to be mad. So which ends up being the stronger motivation? Quick look at the numbers. Kieran Yagami and the Annihilator dropping 600. Sir Epic Poner and the Grasshopper doing 580 for Cameron's. So solid numbers out of them. Aces didn't have
Orange Drive, that Maraud 3R. Doing 476. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Hammer and Bushwhackers doing 400 plus, so more of a spread on the Aces side as opposed to having dominant mechs. But that team kill just didn't help.
I think that did them in. I'm going to call it right now and say I think that team kill cost them the match. I think one more mech would have helped them.
And I think once the Aces got on top of that ramp, just staying there was not the thing to do. Because at that point, Cameron's was able to rotate around under cover and basically was able to shoot into that mass from multiple directions. It was the high ground, but it was very exposed high ground.
Yeah, when you've got no cover like that and you're silhouetting across a horizon, that just invites the entire enemy team to just sit there and pluck shots at you.
So, looking at this on the map, Aces sent everything they have up the ramp. Cameron's went up the ramp, decided that wasn't going to work, did the full 180-degree rotation, pushed Aces off the top, and then just proceeded to rip them apart. All the action basically taking place in D6. So, not overly complicated strategies for the two teams. Smash face, and Cameron's kept the momentum going longer.
And that's all they needed. That's all they needed to tie this up and drag this out to the 5th and final match to see who pulls it off. You know, I gotta say, I'm really enjoying this match, Gerlin. This is some good stuff. This is classic down and dirty brawl. I mean, as much as I love seeing, the range game and the trading and pop-tarting, give me a brutal brawl. Throw some metal at the wall and just mix it up with a potato masher, maybe a nice KitchenAid, and that's really what gets the blood pumping for me, man.
Agreed. And we've got everything. We've got players pushing so hard they're overheating themselves and popping off. We've got the accidental team kill. We've got components flying everywhere. And when you can basically describe the mat strat in 2 lines that meet on one spot, it's entertaining to watch.
Yeah. And
once again,
let's not take away from some of the other teams that do those ornate strategies, those wall strats, those trades. They're fun to watch too. They're interesting, but this is pure carnage. This is mayhem. This is stuff that it gets me.
And once again, these guys are right on it. So, Gamma, Theta, Sigma are going to be your valid cap points. Not that cap points really mattered that last brawl. No one cared.
Nope.
So, what have you got on Ace's Wild side?
Well, Ace's Wilds, I'm seeing 3 Crab 27 SLs, 2 Roughneck 3As, and a Cicada 2A.
That seems brawly to me.
Interesting stuff to me, most definitely brawly. Those Roughnecks, man, they pack a punch for a 65-tonner. They've got armor for days, and these crabs, everybody knows how you defeat a crab. You rip his legs off. You don't want to shoot it anywhere else. So I think we might be in for a treat, another brawl, but that Cicada looks a little interesting to me. That's all energy.
On Cameron's side, we've got a couple Grasshoppers, an Uziel, 2 Uziels, Phoenix Hawk, and a Vulcan.
Ooh.
They're looking to use altitude where they can. Cameron's is split into 2 lines heading straight forward.
It's starting already. Screw it, 2 lines. They want 1. Somebody give these guys the meat and potatoes. That Uziel's taking off. He didn't want none of that up there. Those crabs taking that top.
So Aces has some altitude capabilities as well. Pushing Cameron's off. Might have a little... No, they're going to go... Cameron's is going to go to Theta instead of rotating around the building.
Mm-hmm. We've got 2 Roughnecks coming around. Looking to possibly push up the ramp. We don't know. We've got 3 crabs up top. And that's Cicada back by Gamma. Just kind of chilling. I think he's sneaking up a little bit, doing a little sneaky. All these crabs start running down the Uziel and the body. They actually abandon top. And they're sitting in open ground. Here we go, that fight. Those pulse lasers, those strikes are going out. Smoke's going everywhere. Got blood and mech parts everywhere. I love it.
Cameron's disengaging a little bit. Coming back into it. Zacian's a little isolated, but makes it back to his group. Meanwhile, Archon took out Orange Dry. There was more fighting back here.
Yeah. Cameron's still up 5 to 4. Oh, never mind. I spoke too soon. 4 to 4, 3 to 4. Here we go. Oh, 3 to 3. This is what I wanted to see for a 5th and final match. Keep it close, boys. Everybody fight it good. Torso twist. Oh, here we go. Archon's down. Oof.
Still high advantage Aces.
Oof. I gotta say, though, Waffle House looks good. Their armors look solid. My only concern is that one crab, piloted by Cinar. He's looking a little rough there.
He's facing a 2-on-1, 3-on-1.
Oof, there goes Cinar. It's 3 to 3 now. Ooh! Kawhi taking out Exalgo and that Grasshopper. Ooh! And there goes Orbit Rain. Oh, this nose dove real quick. That 3-on-1, here comes that rush.
There goes a torso, and there goes the mech.
And that just happened. Orphanator just ripping apart Poner in that last Grasshopper. GG's. Look at the remaining health on Team 2 on Waffle House. We got a 53, a 39, and another 53. That was close. That was a damn good match. That was fun.
He says runs around to get the cap points to make the match official.
Take it, Epsilon.
We alternated wins every drop.
We did.
Theta is
We
controlled
absolutely
by the
did.
enemy.
This was a tooth and nail drag out fight. I gotta say, GG's to both teams. This was entertaining. This was fun. And anybody who didn't get a chance to watch this, this was fun. This was a good match. Waffle House putting up a couple 500 damages, one 400 damage. Good stuff. Good stuff. Got
Seraphic Boner
Seraphic
622.
Yeah. Definitely some tankiness. Definitely some solid numbers. That was pretty good.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can scrounge up a couple players to talk to. There's lots to talk about. And the other thing I'm going to do, I've still got a mech bay to give away.
There you go. More free stuff. Does it come with cookies too?
Sadly, PGI is much more controlling with their cookies than I am. So, let's see if any more viewers showed up. Okay, we're up to 21 now. Fortunately, I've got to kick us out, as before. Kick out the known bots. Oh, we got 17 to pick from.
Hello.
Howdy, sir.
Hi.
So, viewers can't see it quite at the moment, but this is Orange Dry that just joined us.
Hello.
So, you're just in time. I'm giving stuff away. Doesn't look like you've been active in Twitch chat. Were you busy doing something else?
Me?
I think he might have been playing. I think we could let that one slide.
Oh, well, okay.
Learning how to do this comp thing, that's what I was doing.
Learning how to do this comp. So this is your first attempt at comp, huh?
This is my third match at comp. Yeah.
Okay. All right, give us a second, Orange. As soon as we do this giveaway, we'll be doing some interviewing for you, buddy.
Virgo Praz, I know you're not a bot. So, whisper me on Twitch. I will fling you a mech bay as a result. Now we got that out of the way. As I said, we've got Orange Dry with us, and hopefully we'll have Fess along as well from Cameron's.
So, Orange, this is your first comp season. This is your third drop in competitive.
Correct.
What do you think of playing MechWarrior competitively now? I mean, how long have you been playing MechWarrior beforehand? How do you like the competitive scene? What have you learned? Give me the whole spiel, man. I want to know.
I'm really enjoying comp. We put the team together as kind of an afterthought. Aces is obviously hosting and putting on the tournament, so we wanted a good turnout of Aces pilots. So we have 3 battalions in Aces Wild, and my battalion wasn't represented a week before the tournament started, so we threw something together with some Aces pilots and some former Aces pilots, and just trying to wing it, I guess.
Now, did you have any comp experienced players at all on your team? You guys got, some other people that you can draw from?
Orphanator and Nar used to play comp.
Okay.
And Orphanator's just kind of a top-level pilot, I guess, so he's been very instrumental in some of the builds that we're doing. I'm mostly doing, like, the strats and, like, general calling, and he's doing targets and...
Okay, so you're getting to learn, you're getting to put stuff together, you're experiencing it for the first time, you're having fun, you're getting the adrenaline rush, you're playing 6v6 in your own tournament for your first try. Now, here's my big question. What do worlds look like for Waffle House?
Well, they have to announce it first, I guess. But
Well, we're going to assume on the safe side that they're going to have another World Championships.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to assume that.
Well, the command group of Aces Wild has excused themselves for this tournament since they're running it.
Okay.
So there's a possibility that Waffle House and Black Aces will get some CG players, and I think you probably see both of us at Worlds.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to see you on the field, my friend. Good to hear. So, Curlin, what do you got, man?
Well, I was hoping we'd have someone from Cameron's join us as well, but it looks like that's not going to be the case, unfortunately. Actually, I'm going through, I'm reviewing the prior drops, so I've got looking at drop 1, which was interesting because you're the first squad I've seen do a low ground push from the Team 2 side through Epsilon.
Yeah.
And you guys trucked right through Epsilon. So what was the plan? What was the strategy for that map?
We were hoping that they would take the spine, like that really good high point on the bottom right of the map, and we could either surprise them, and if they kind of went the theta side of that position, that they would have to like hill hump and peek to shoot down at us, which is kind of generally a bad idea, but we were hoping like they had an Annihilator, Warhammer, like mechs that their guns are lower than their heads, that we would get CTs, which worked out all right.
I dig it. So there was a movement that Curlin and I were talking about, and it was your Assassin 21, who literally jumped right on up, got into that brawl, took half their team, distracted them away, and started a brawl 3-on-1. And that little assassin had some effing heart. And I'm not just saying that because I love the chassis. All right, I'm partially saying that because I love the chassis. But he literally pulled 3 sets of guns off the rest of your entire team. Please tell me that was planned.
I think it was Zaz, and that's basically his job on our team. Same thing happened in the first HPG match where he was in a flea, and they took the time to kill him, and we got into position.
So you guys got yourselves a little sacrificial lamb. I dig it. And
yeah, usually I'm the sacrificial lamb and the fatty up front, but because of the style of this tournament, you can't really afford like an extra fatty just to die.
No, not to lose tonnage like that. That's never any good. Interesting techniques. I don't know if I'd run a sacrificial lamb on a deck personally, but it paid off. It worked real well for you guys. You guys definitely threw down. You did some really good work. I gotta say, this was an impressive, fun match to watch. And hats off to both teams, Cameron's Islanders and Waffle House here. You guys did really well tonight, and you should be proud of yourselves. I hope you had fun tonight.
Oh, I had a ball, yeah. I hope that more casual players try out comp. I think that would be the healthiest thing for comp right now, because if you leave it just to the top 10 teams all the time, it's going to get kind of stale and boring.
Absolutely.
Like, we got, I think, 33 teams in this, and I mean, there's people, I'd say half of them have never played comp before, and I think it's leading to some fun stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And for those viewers and people that are newer to comp, there are channels all over, there are teams all over the place, there are different discords everywhere that are willing to help new players, that are willing to help comp players, that are willing to go over builds, that are willing to talk strats, that are willing to scrim. So please, guys, if you guys want help, if you guys want to throw together a team, if this sounds interesting, if you guys are having fun with this, seek out help, talk to people, throw together a team, let's have some fun, let's keep comp alive, let's keep MechWarrior alive, and kick some ass on the battlefield.
Yes. Yeah, the ISC Discord and the MWO Comp Discord are both open to anybody just to come in and look at ideas and ask questions. there's like a brand new player who joined the MWO comp thing last week and was like, hey, I just bought my first mech. So they're going to get a leg up by being on that server.
Oh, absolutely. And do yourselves a favor, too. If you guys haven't checked out the other Twitch channels for some other Twitch streamers that do stuff like this, you know, you've got some fantastic streamers out there that are willing to take the time and go over things with people and teach people. Check them out.
It's nice. I've been seeing people watching these comp streams go, hey, that's interesting. I want to do this. I've had friends that have never heard of MechWarrior catch a comp stream and have interest. We had a match earlier this evening on the primary MWO leagues with one guy about midway through was reinstalling MechWarrior after not playing for a few years because comp looked entertaining. So, yeah, come play, people.
It's funny. I've always talked about MechWarrior and I've talked about competitive. And I've talked about how much I love this game. And it's like a whole nother outlet. It's a whole nother gameplay. You've got your faction, you've got your quick play, you've got scouting. Well, now you've got competitive. You've got something new and interesting and fun that you can just throw down and have a blast with. And you can really get together with a couple teams. And maybe you won't make top 5 in the world. Maybe maybe you'll sit somewhere in the mid-range, but you're going to have fun. You're going to learn. You're going to become better pilots. You're going to learn different avenues of the maps. You're going to learn different strategies and ways to attack. You're going to make tons of friends doing it. So,
thanks for casting, guys.
Oh,
yeah.
Not a problem. This is foolish fun.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So, only question I've got before we wrap things up for you, Orange, is based on how the Swiss system has been going so far, do you have a theory on who you're going to get matched up with for round 4, or who you'd like to get matched up with for round 4?
Well, it's my understanding that Black Aces beat Paragon Sect, and so I absolutely hope that we get to play the other AW team. I'd like to play Black Ace.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it close enough, but yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Okay.
To be honest, I was very focused on this week. Claymore was rated way higher than us, and they kicked our comp team's teeth in during Martial Olympiad, so we knew we were going to be in a real tough fight.
Well, you guys pulled yourselves up by the bootstraps and you kicked some ass. So good on you.
Yeah, in particular,
thanks.
It was nice seeing your team read situations and respond to them well. So that skill set will do you guys well going forward.
Yeah, the two that we lost, the comms were really messy, and that was partially my fault. I was using in-game chat, and it's really, most people have their in-game turned down, and there was calls being made. But that's something that's easy to work on, easy to identify, easy to fix.
Yeah, those simple little fixes can make a world of difference. So, again, good on you for identifying and adapting.
All right. Well, again, thank you for providing some awesome entertainment tonight and coming to talk with us after. On that note, I'm going to wrap things up. Cyclone, thank you for bringing some awesome insight to this stream. It was awesome working with you this evening. I'm using awesome way too much.
Most definitely. It was a pleasure. Kurlan, thank you for having me.
Anytime. The seat is there if you'd like it. So, on that note, I am Kurlan. This is MWO Comp bringing you ISC Season 2, Week 3 action. Stick around. I believe we've got more matches scheduled for tomorrow. And then we should hopefully, once scores are reported, see what the Week 4 matchups are going to be. Thank you all for watching. Have a good evening.
Have a great night, everybody.